Hi, this is Nils and Jay from Future Folk.
Hondo!
We're in the history of Future Folk, which is coming out on May 31st.
You're watching Pretentious Film Majors. Keep watching!
So you found a guitar. And you learn how to play. Well, he's been playing for about 26 hours now. Sounds pretty good. Still make a crappy assassin, though.
I know.
Awesome interview. Take one. Scene one.
Perfect.
And I love ruining his slates.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Future Folk and the director of the history of Future Folk, Jay, Nils, and Jeremy.
Nils.
Nils.
But you come a lot closer than most people do.
That's true.
So you get 8 out of 10.
It can be pronounced Nils, that spelling, or not?
Well, if you want to mispronounce it, it can be pronounced. There was Niles on Frasier, and that.
He's the bane of your existence.
Yeah, that guy just ruined my name.
Little known fact, we're with the foremost Hondonian musicians in the world, or in the universe.
Yeah,
Is it a galactic thing?
Yeah.
Intergalactic, but I don't want to toot my own horn.
Yeah, right. I do, because we're awesome.
So yeah, tell me a little bit about the movie. When History of Future Folk as a project got started.
Yeah, so the way we started off as fans. I mean, we saw these guys first in a nightclub in the Lower East Side in 2004, and it was hilarious. And the drunker we got, the funnier it got. And so we said, we really have to make a movie about this. And it took us the better part of a decade, but finally we pulled it off. And it was, very modest production, but everybody kind of came in for a real family atmosphere. We shot it in our house and in our neighborhood in Brooklyn. And it was Nils' first time acting in his whole life.
Yep.
And he put a lot of trust in the team and really did an amazing job. And Jay's a seasoned pro from film, television, and Broadway, and brought it every day. It was a really fun way to make a movie.
Can you guys tell me a little bit about Future Folk and when that started?
Yeah, sure. We around 2004, we were doing another creative project. We met through a mutual friend, and we were doing a show called Who is Wilford Brimley, and it was a musical that was essentially a Hollywood true story, but we made it all up, and it was very silly,
Farcical.
And we Jay had some songs that were kind of space songs, and he wanted to do some keyboards. I had a home recording studio. We wanted to do some keyboards and stuff to it. We got together and we jammed a little bit, and we were like chatting about it, and we were like, wouldn't it be funny to do like a American roots band from outer space, and just take that concept, and instead of talking about the Smoky Mountains, you're talking about the sulfur mines of Hondo. So we started to etch out some songs and got some gigs and kind of developed the whole mythology on stage. I would say it was definitely sort of an evolution. We created the buckets, and then I think that sort of just kind of rolled on from there.
Fun fact: the friend who introduced us, John Bulette, he's also the friend who taught us how to make the buckets initially, because he was a substitute teacher at the time, and it's a project he did with his kindergarten class.
He also out the original helmets. To
also one of the producers on our film. So it was a real family affair. We've all been friends for many, many years.
Yep.
So the idea was juxtaposing like the really kind of rootsy American music with sci-fi almost.
Yeah. Instead of coal mining in Butcher Holler, it was like you said, the sulfur mines of Hondo.
Yeah. And the idea of the sort of the high tech, the analog high tech, that the tension between those two things, we thought there was a lot of potential for fun.
Yeah.
So and the movie almost ends up as this like apocalyptic sci-fi folk music drama.
I think we have a new top
There's
rom-com.
a little bromance too.
There's some romance too.
Yeah. Did it start out like so expansive or inclusive, or did you have to figure out how to include all these elements?
Well, I think on the writing side, the germ of the idea came from these guys, from the lyrics of all the music, and there's an inherent juxtaposition to the act anyway, where it's already a mashup. And so then we sort of just mashed it up a little bit further. It's like you sprinkle in this ingredient and that ingredient, and suddenly it's this whole fusion. And so the trickiest thing that we talked about for the tone of the movie was it's definitely a comedy. It's ridiculous, but we also wanted it to have, you know, real characters as best we could, and sort of ground it in that, and not just have it be entirely silly and entirely campy. So, you know, we tried to we spent a lot of time on the relationship between Bill and his wife and the daughter, and tried to make it, you know, a bit of a family drama, so that when these guys are running around in the suits, it's all for something that you can hopefully believe in.
Yeah, that's definitely what these guys. I mean, the huge thing that Jeremy and John brought to this project was sort of grounding in sort of a real, human narrative and drama. I mean, our stage show was a bit more jokey, and I think that if we were left to our own devices to make a future folk movie, there probably would have been a fart joke, and there would have been this, and there would have been that, and it would have been, much more absurd. And the brilliant thing that these guys did was they managed to find that razor's edge between, you know, absurdity and you know, something that feels very emotionally real.
The thing that keeps coming up at the film festivals, going around to all of them over the last year, is that it has such a big heart, and there's something very sincere about it. As ridiculous and sort of silly as it is, there's also something very true and real and heartfelt about the whole thing. That's what keeps coming up.
Yeah. We talked about movies like, you know, certainly there's a bit of Blues Brothers in this movie for sure, but other comps we talked about when we were making it, like Ghostbusters, you know, which has this totally ridiculous idea at the center of it, but you buy every bit of it. You buy these characters. You buy that they're like, you know, it's life or death, apocalypse with ghosts and, you know, Slimer and all that stuff. We love that tone. You know, the Muppet movies have that tone where it's like these puppets running around, but somehow like they're integrated into this world, and like you buy into it, and like those are sort of the touchstones for the movie.
So where can people find out more and see more of Future Folk? Or will we see a History of Future Folk 2?
Volume 2.
Great question. Sequel, with no plans for a sequel yet, but Jerry, you can talk about the movie
we
release.
just announced our distribution deal this week, so it'll be in theaters starting May 31st, and then the initial release will be in New York City and then LA, and then over the summer it'll go to probably about 15 cities, and then starting June 4th it'll be available on video on demand and iTunes and all digital platforms. So you can
the album is also on iTunes currently. You can get it now.
And hopefully it'll be accompanied by some more Future Folk performances.
For sure.
Yeah,
We have a lot more nights like that tonight.
Yeah.